I'm the same weight as I was last week before I ate burgers and fries for a cheat meal. It's great. Shelby says I'm still gaining muscle and losing fat. So we're in a good spot still. I'm really gonna guess after about 2 or 3 more weeks, I won't be gaining any muscle anymore. In fact, all of my workouts have started to get a lot lighter now. On the days that I do high intensity interval cardio, I only have 50 grams of carbs total for that day, 10 grams per meal. And I start to feel like all of the meals that I'm eating is not enough food. So we're getting there. The change for this week is to add 1 more session, 30 minutes of cardio, and then we're gonna go from there. So I'm at the gym now 11 days a week.
I wish they were 11 days a week. I meant I go to the gym 11 times a week.
All right, today I want to talk about one thing I have not covered yet, and that's supplements. Supplements. I don't really take that many supplements. In fact, I'm looking right here and there's only 2 that I've really been sold on over the last 15 years. Over the last 5 years, I've really not taken any supplements at all, and just protein powder as a convenience. I never saw protein powder as a true supplement to begin with. If I had all the time in the world, I would just eat all the meat that I could, but don't have that luxury anymore. Now, the one thing I realized when I was working out in 2002 and looking into supplements for the first time was the amount of marketing that came up through some of these products. You had these claims like explosive energy, enhanced endurance, and maximum performance, all written in a nice shiny bottle, and this really evolved over the last decade or so. And you have claims that subject built 8.8 pounds of lean muscle and increased strength by 147%, followed by an asterisk that would then say these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Going back to the point of subjects built 8.8 pounds of lean muscle and increased strength by 147%, I looked into the study that they cited on the website, and when I looked through it, they had a sample size of 21 people. Right here, they write about the gold standard randomized clinical trial, but yet have a sample size of 21, which is low power and low evidence. Regardless, they still went through with it, and they compared their product to that of placebo, which doesn't make any sense, because if you were going to gain strength, one of the standards of supplements that are used today is, in fact, creatine. And I don't know why you would compare this product to placebo rather than creatine, which is the very first supplement that I'm taking currently. I haven't been taking creatine since 2012. Creatine has been stigmatized by people who just don't know. They think it's steroids. It's not. It's not even a hormone. It's a non-essential compound in your body that's made by your liver. So even if you don't take any of this powder, there's creatine flowing in your veins right now. Now, the purpose of creatine is that it exists as creatine phosphate inside of your body and really affects your muscles, which have the greatest concentration of mitochondria inside of the cells. And what it does there is it replenishes the phosphate on ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is the molecule that powers each individual cell. It changes the conformation so that you can have the filaments then pull on each other to produce a contraction in the muscle. And with creatine, you're able to replenish that ATP a little bit quicker than if you had less creatine flowing around in your blood. Now, fun fact about creatine is that it also exists in a form called creatinine in your body, which is a function of how we measure the way that your kidneys work inside of a clinic. There's something called the Cockroft Gault Equation, and it calculates something called creatinine clearance, which is how much creatinine that your body can flush out. Patients who have renal insufficiencies, they will have very bad creatinine clearances. Now, I'm going off on a tangent here, but if you want to be critical of medicine today, you would be critical of creatinine clearance as a measure of renal function, because that's how we dose medicines, is based on creatinine clearance. Cockroft Gault and that equation was written in 1976, and I believe had a patient population of about 400 people, and they used that to extrapolate the kidney function of everyone around the world. Anyways, creatine is the most studied sports nutrition supplement out today. The way that I see it is that the safety and efficacy of creatine really is the only one that's been established out of all the different supplements. People might say things like beta-alanine or citrulline malate have been out there and have been studied and have some efficacy behind them. I took beta-alanine from 2007 to 2008. I don't really think it did that much for me. Creatine, on the other hand, I do very much stand by. And I don't think it matters which formulation you take. I get the creatine monohydrate, and almost all of these products that are micronized are made with this patented creatine formula made by Creapure, which is a registered trademark of a German company. 5 grams a day, every day, with your post-workout meal or in the morning with breakfast, and you're covered. The other advice to you, if you're gonna bring a girl home and you're a guy, put the shit away. Every time a girl sees creatine on top of my fridge, they always have something to say about it. Put it in the cabinet or something. And she goes through your cabinets and you give her shit for it, all right? Where did that come from? I got no fucking idea. The second and last supplement that I'm going to recommend is protein powder, but I use 2 different kinds. And the first one is going to be casein. And yes, I do realize that there was a book written in 2005 saying that casein is one of the greatest human carcinogens ever known. But it's kind of weird because we've analyzed human breast milk and we found out that 20 to 45% of breast milk has casein in it. So does that mean that mothers are trying to poison their children with cancer? Casein is a slow-acting protein. I mix it in a 1-to-1 ratio with whey protein, which I'm going to show you in a second. Powder is very fine. It thickens when you shake it up, and that's part of the reason why it's slow digesting. Do I think it's a game changer? Kind of. There was a time period from 2009 up until around 2011 that I was taking casein, and this was the time that I started taking it, and it helped my lifts pretty immensely. Now, of course, I'm not sold completely that it was all casein. Maybe it was my training, maybe it was hard work that came out to it, maybe it was doing the right thing at the right time when it came to lifting weights. All of those factors probably came into play. Casein I've always found to be a pretty good fit for me when it comes to protein powder supplements. It's very easy. You put this protein into a cup, mix it with some water, shake it up, drink it. You have gotten 50 grams of protein in literally under a minute. That's the beauty of it. Whereas for eggs, you're gonna have to cook them. For chicken, you're gonna have to cook them. And then you're gonna have to chew. And, next thing you know, it's been 20 minutes later. You spent all that time eating a meal. You could have spent those 19 minutes doing something else that you enjoyed. When I mix the casein with something, I mix it with this. I mix it with whey protein. And this particular one comes from TrueNutrition.com. I'm not sponsored for this, but I've been buying from them before they were called this. They used to be called True Protein. Now, the good thing about this True Nutrition protein is that it's almost the purest form of whey that you can get. If you look at the ingredient, it's called whey protein isolate cold filtration. When you look at the nutrition facts, it's about as pure of a protein as you could get. There's a fraction of a gram of fat, there's just 1 gram of carbohydrate, and there's 27 grams of protein for a 30-gram scoop. So 90% of what you scoop out is going to be protein. This Costco protein is about $7 a pound. True Nutrition is about $10 a pound. For that price, you get a little bit more of a pure protein, and you buy it in bulk, you save money. There's another thing too. If you think that True Nutrition is a good fit for you, you go to their website and you add things to your cart. If you use the code Shelby, that's my coach's code, Shelby Starnes, you'll get 5% off. I don't have a code, but use his. This is what I mix, 1-to-1 ratio, whey and casein for protein, as a meal replacement. And it's not the only meal I eat. I eat 3 solid meals on top of it. The last thing I wanted to show you, which I thought was kind of interesting, is this green tea extract. And I'm not particularly sold on this. I've done 3 cuts since 2008. The cut in the middle, in 2012, I didn't use this. One thing I realized when you take this is that your body temperature goes up. It's a known thermogenic. So when you do exercise, you start to sweat a lot earlier, and then even weird places like your palms and the bottoms of your feet will start to sweat as well. I'm not sold on this, and back in 2012, I did a successful cut, and I didn't use the green tea extract. This was recommended to me by Shelby. I don't think that there's a particular brand you need to get. This is the one that happened to be the cheapest on Amazon. And that's it. Those are really the only 2 supplements that I want to recommend to you that I take. Supplements are never going to replace hard work and the right training at the right time. You can drink all the protein you want and not go to the gym, and it's not going to do anything for you. You can take all the creatine capsules that you want and not go to the gym, and it's not going to help you. No matter what, consistency and hard work will always beat out any kind of supplement. The supplement is there for when your diet is completely in line and when your training is in line, and you just need a little bit of extra edge to help you, whether it's recovery or whether it's convenience. Those are really the places for supplements. It's not the end-all be-all. It's not guaranteed to put you on 50 pounds of muscle in a year. That's never going to happen. Hard work and consistency in the gym are the only things that will ever work in the long run. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me and checking in with me this week for the Fat Loss Vlog. And I'll see you next week. Adios.